When I was hired at the Victoria Theatre Association 3 years ago, something that was mentioned in my interview process was how that the organization tended to deal in silos, and the board, particularly the executive committee, was interested in kind of flattening out the management structures so that people would work better together as an organization. And I think that the arts are such a collaborative network, particularly the performing arts, that if you aren't collaborating on stage, for instance, then you have all sorts of problems. But I think that extends over to the administration side as well. We were scheduled to do a production of Wicked about 7 months from the date that I arrived in the theater, and I immediately, or almost immediately, got all the management staff together. There was about 25 people, and I said, okay, we're going to work on making the Wicked project a success. We're not there yet. We're going to really be forced as an organization to make some really hard operational changes to deal with the kind of volume of people and the kinds of customer service demands that we're going to have to deal with. And I think that the only way we can do that is to do it cross-discipline. So you don't have a choice. Everybody's going to be involved. We're going to meet on a regular basis, and you're going to hear about how everybody is challenged by Wicked and what they're going to come up with as solutions for some of these problems. And I want everybody to be involved. It was a very interesting process. Initially, there was a bit of reticence in terms of being involved or hearing people from the restaurant department talk about parking, and the parking people talk about marketing, and the house management people talking about ticketing. And there was a lot of back and forth, some of it comfortable, some of it a little bit uncomfortable. But what it really did show was that when we all worked together, we came up with a great solution, and it was a relatively easy, for having Wicked in your building for 3 weeks, relatively easy process that all of my employees got a lot out of because they felt invested in the solutions that we'd come up with. And I think that was really a great sort of training program for them and showed them the value of collaboration across the organization. We had always had senior staff, vice president meetings every 2 weeks, but I had never met, or there was not a structure in place for the president to meet with the direct reports of the vice presidents. So we started to have once a month management meetings, as opposed to senior staff meetings, management meetings, where we would do an sort of update for everybody across the organization. But we would also focus in on some bigger macro initiatives. We focused our whole strategic planning process at that level. So we were able to look at a lot of strategic planning issues and involve a much, much broader spectrum of the staff than we would have normally been able to do. And out of that came some really great initiatives, a cross-discipline initiative to develop our staff values statement that came really organically from the bottom of the organization right up to the top, involving a great focus group process that really paid off, and people were invested in the values of our organization immediately because that's where they came from. They came from inside the organization. We've also gone on to do some other work cross-discipline, and I've just charged our education director, education and engagement director, to do a complete customer service audit of our organization. And I suggested that there would be an opportunity for people across the organization to be involved in this project, headed up by our education director. I had 25 people sign up to want to be on this committee, which I thought was just fantastic. 25 people wanted to be involved in this from every other aspect of our organization, from property to restaurant to box office. Everybody wanted to be involved in this project. And I think for us it was a different level of engagement than we had experienced as a staff group, certainly since I had been there 3 years ago, or since I started 3 years ago. But I think that now we're getting somewhat used to working as a group together we can then start to work on the content. So this customer service initiative that I spoke about, I think will be a really great project for us. Yes, it will have the collaborative aspect of everybody working together across disciplines and departments, but it'll also hopefully bring out some really good work.